What's up, Pop Culture Universe? How are you all doing today? We are reviewing the latest What If episode. This is episode 8. What if Vision, Ultron won? I'll be one of the reactors today. My name is Bogz with my girl, Sol. How are you today, Sol?
Doing good. I've made that same mistake watching the entire episode. I was like,
Right.
Vision, Ultron,
Yeah, we need
Ultron.
a name, like a blended name.
Right.
Ultra Vision or something.
Voltron.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, going into the episode, I did think it made up for last week's episode. Captain Marvel and Thor, and it had some cool fighting moments, but other than that, there weren't too many stakes, I felt, overall. And like the second half of this episode was like really strong. And having Ultron go against the Watcher, I just thought was great because the Watcher is my favorite character so far in What If, and him stepping into scenes and Vision kind of turning around saying I can hear you, and like him joining in or the dimension, like I love that stuff. So it was like crazy to watch, and that was kind of my favorite part of the episode. So like the Watcher and Ultron, obviously it was like an anime fight, their kind of fight scene and going into other dimensions, different dimensions, and using kind of all their powers against each other and seeing what the Watcher can do and how powerful he is as well, and like he can't really be hurt. So that was super interesting, and the dialogue I thought was cool. But yeah, give me overall kind of summary of the episode and kind of what are your favorite standouts.
First, to apologize for Dom Toretto outside. He's just having a lot of fun.
Usually.
But per usual. One thing that I liked about last week's episode was the fight between Thor and Captain Marvel. And I'll have to echo that with this week's. I liked this fight even more between the Watcher and Vision, Ultron, Vision, whatever we're gonna call him. But the fact that it was going through dimensions. You had at the very beginning the Watcher in his regular garb that he has had in each of the episodes, and then he kind of does like a Goku Super Saiyan power up, kind of like an anime. Perfect words there when you're describing it. And that fight, just the power between these two beings, crazy.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, going into like his dialogue as well, I thought was so cool. Like he couldn't break the oath. I can't get involved. Him trying to help, Hawkeye and with the folder thing. I just thought it was great. He's just there in the scene, but they can't see him. I just thought it was really cool. And then the whole kind of Raiders, they made a joke of it. Obviously, the Raiders warehouse and stuff. That was really fun. But going as a negative, I thought a biggest standout with, and it's something that bothered me. The kind of Thanos respect is at 0 since Endgame. And obviously they've done this, I think it was in the T'Challa Black Panther episode or Black Panther / Star-Lord episode where, they made Thanos like a sidekick guy who's cracking jokes. They were funny at the time, but in hindsight, just like not making him, how great he was as one of the best villains of all time to now like a joke almost, and like a running joke, and like where he, Ultron / Vision, whatever, instantly kills Thanos. So he came out great as well. I thought the animation was great, like he does in Endgame, uses the Power Stone, comes out ready to face him, and he just instantly kills him like that. And then when he's facing Captain Marvel, he has to destroy a whole planet to kill her, and like they go back and forth. She goes to the planet core and things like that, and he just killed her immediately. I thought, what is going on here? I've seen it so many times now. And there's no kind of big story arc for him in this What If series, and yeah, it's just a bit of a bitter taste in my mouth, I felt. But yeah, was any dislikes? Anything maybe you want to say on the Thanos? Zero respect for Thanos hashtag.
Well, What If has done two things consistently. They have depowered Thanos, and they keep killing Tony Stark. Every episode Tony Stark is in, he's dying.
Mm-hmm.
But I legitimately laughed out loud when he got split in half. I kind of feel for it the same way, and I apologize, Bogz, for bringing this movie up. The Last Jedi, when Luke throws the lightsaber, like the same amount of laughter that I had when Luke threw the lightsaber, and it's that awkward laughter that we're like, this isn't supposed to be happening, but it's kind of hilarious. And so I felt that for both Thanos being split in half and Luke throwing the lightsaber.
Yeah, because we were talking off screen, but he could have done that in Infinity War, right? I know he was hurt and he was injured, and like on the defense kind of thing. But he could have saved a lot of like people dying if he'd done that. So I
Yeah.
don't know. But yeah, it was definitely it wasn't just the way how fast it was. It was like they prompted up Captain Marvel,
Hmm.
like some ultra powerful being, and like you're just disrespecting him. I was like, what's going on here? But anyway, moving on. I wonder if the next episode is going to be a continuation of this, or there will be a continuation in season 2. I do not know, because this was definitely a cliffhanger. Setting up a potentially a new villain for the kind of multiverse of madness. I thought that, I know it's a bit of a stretch introducing a villain in an animation, potentially, but I thought he was super impressive. Like the way he was kind of dealt with everything in the timeline that we've seen in the movies, like dealt with that and like moving on to other dimensions, other kind of multiverses. I just thought it was a cool way to end it. And yeah, but I don't know if maybe the long-term villain or Ultron, having the kind of Infinity Stones now, like he's unbeatable for these people that we've seen. But moving on with like Eternals or the Multiverse of Madness, are these going to be able to kind of battle him like a new threat? But also has kind of the Watcher to deal with. Yeah, just so many fascinating things and what happened there. But yeah, and then Ultron being so big and like eating the planet, I thought it was great. Like that was a little similar to like
He did a
Thanos
little
pulling.
Galactus
Yeah, I
moment.
thought the way like Thanos pulled the planet in, pull parts of the planet
Mhm.
to throw at Tony, and I thought it was a little bit of respect for that. But similar to like how the Watcher kind of watches over people, you see his
Mhm.
like head in the background, and he done the same thing but went kind of overboard. And yeah, I just love their back and forth. The whole fight scenes was great. Kind of higher beings, like higher villains kind of thing. So but yeah, I really enjoyed all that stuff. But yeah, any kind of thoughts on the kind of what they're doing now with the multiverse, and even the animation of how the Watcher looks and sees the other dimensions, like with the whole kind of shattered glass thing and seeing everything, that's how he looks, and kind of floats in between, and how that kind of and how he described like the oath, who does he answer to, all that stuff. So yeah, any kind of thoughts on the kind of multiverse, seeing more of that and getting some answers about the Watcher and how he kind of acts and behaves, and Ultron against him.
If the trailers aren't doing a little trick of the hand like they've done before in previous Marvel trailers, we're gonna get like Gamora with the axe toting like she's Thanos, and T'Challa, Star Lord, and Doctor Strange, and all of them together in an episode. And I feel like that's going to be the episode that's next week. Is going to have the Watcher now has gotten the help of the darker Doctor Strange. And I think with that, they're going to go and get everyone from the different multiverses that we've seen throughout this. And that's going to be the connective thread. Where before they were just individual stories. And now, because we've already seen a connective thread from last week's episode, is we saw this Vision Ultron at the very end of Party Thor. And so I don't know where that episode places in between him becoming that powerful Ultron that he is in this episode, because the Watcher seemed a little confused at the end, like, oh, who's this? And if that happens afterwards, then the Watcher already knows who he is. So I'm kind of confused on where exactly Party Thor is in the timeline of this episode, but I'm excited to see what they go forward with in the next episode.
Yeah, and ending on that kind of scene with, obviously they did have another tie into the kind of awesome Doctor Strange episode where you see the evil
Mhm.
Doctor Strange kind of with him and asking him for his help. I thought it was cool because Doctor Strange is a bit of a unique property, I feel, in this whole multiverse thing, because he is, I believe, I don't know if he's as powerful as the Watcher, but him dealing, being able to go in and out of dimensions, and dealing with like Dormammu, so he can go into
Mhm.
other dimensions and battle other beings and multiverses and things like that. But obviously his not his moral compass, but his kind of duty to stay, to keep, look after kind of humans really, and the timeline is keeping him, is keeping his powers measured, I feel. But now this evil one, he doesn't have that responsibility. So I
Right.
believe he, having him involved with the Watcher, trying to take on this Ultron, I think that's really, really fascinating. So yeah, I don't know if that will be introduced. I believe they have shot all the kind of season 2 episodes, as far as I'm aware. So That'll be interesting to see if it's there or if it's in Multiverse of Madness. I really hope like bringing some of these fascinating characters into their movies, and who knows, maybe Spider-Man stuff. I don't know, but overall, yeah. What are your kind of thoughts on the ending of the episode, seeing the evil Doctor Strange getting involved?
Yeah, I'm excited for anything with Doctor Strange. If you've read some of him in the comic books, he's one of the most powerful beings ever. And to have a Doctor Strange without a moral compass, because the love of his life is dead, his entire universe that he had is completely obliterated. He probably has zero moral compass right now, and so he's probably going to go balls to the wall in the next episode, and I can't wait to see it. It's going to be like a Dragon Ball Z fight, and I'm ready for it.
Yeah, and people, you forget, like, he did, save everyone in Endgame with, the one, and he could. I always think like he could have potentially even though he saw the kind of different outcomes, like he still have saved Tony, but maybe purposely didn't because he knew what would have happened, and that kind of thing. Like having that ability, I think he's kind of underrated with the other Avengers, because they just haven't, because of his story, his independent movie, it hasn't gone to the massive scale to show fully flex of how powerful he is and how important he is moving forward. So he's definitely one. I'm excited to see his story moving forward. But I need these MCU movies quick, like
Yes.
Multiverse of Madness, Eternals, like these bigger beings.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know the TV series are great and stuff. Like What If, okay, Hawkeye, these are grounded stories. Like okay, they're fun, but like these things are like big intergalactic, multiverse bending, time bending, space. Like these are I'm way more invested in that stuff than these current grounded stories at the minute, to be honest. So, and shout out to Arnim Zola as well. I thought he was great in the episode. There's the little stuff they had, taking over the other beings, and just the kind of funny lines that he had, and being like of importance. Because seeing him in Captain America, I did think that this technology would be throughout the
Mm-hmm.
MCU. I kind of thought it would be in Falcon and Winter Soldier as well somehow, and obviously that didn't happen. So I'm glad he's getting the
Got a theory on that.
yeah, he's getting more time and that, and yeah, obviously Toby Jones, great actor as well. So yeah, please tell me your thoughts on kind of any Arnim Zola theories and thoughts on them scenes.
So we saw that they were in the same place in Siberia that they were in Civil War, and who was there and shot all the rest of the Winter Soldiers there? Zemo. I think Zemo probably talked to Zola right beforehand and probably has a downloaded Zola, probably on a zip drive or something. And so I feel like if we might get Zola in the future with Zemo. Whatever story Zemo goes into, we might also have Zola.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, they were there at that point
Mm-hmm.
in Civil War. Zemo's obviously very conniving. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's just probably a good idea. It's funny, you just put him on like so just plug it into anywhere and it kind of downloads and he's
Yeah.
there. So yeah, it's kind of funny. But overall, yeah, I quite like the episode, especially the second half. I thought was really strong. As soon as as soon as he turned around and said, "I can hear you," I started to get
Mm-hmm.
involved, and I just from that point
Second
onwards, it was
person
great.
after Doctor Strange.
Yeah, exactly. So they're the three beings that kind of heard him. So I don't think that's by accident. I think that's a genuine thing that these guys are some of the most powerful beings that we've seen. So strong, really strong second half of the episode. Overall, I'll probably give it a 8. I did enjoy it. But like I said, second half is stellar. But who knows if we'll get a continuation? Hopefully we do. Can't, I'll be shocked if we don't. But I believe there's only one episode left, so I don't think it will be the next one. I'm sure we might have some tie-in somewhere, but might be in season 2, might be in another, medium. Who knows? But yeah, overall thoughts on the episode.
Yeah, I liked all the other little things in here that I joked off camera with you that he had an invisibility cloak from Harry Potter at the very beginning. Hawkeye did, and then just the reverse of the death of Natasha and Vormir. You have Clint letting go, and that shot right before he blows them up with that arrow. Such a beautiful shot. The animation this season for this and all the other animated stuff that Disney Plus has been doing. We just talked about Visions recently, so go check that out. Animation for Disney Plus right now is solid. And so I was thinking an 8 as well for this.
Yeah, even going back to the Clone Wars season 7 or Bad Batch, all the animation, yeah, it is fantastic. So one negative I did miss out was, again, some of the voice acting. Like Black Widow, you just or like some other characters, you're like, who is that? Or like it just makes you wonder and ponder, like telling these big, scope stories. It's like, yeah, it's like some of the voice don't matches up. But it didn't bother me too much this episode. I did spot it once or twice, but not like it didn't throw me off too much. But overall, yeah, really strong episode. Looking forward to the last episode of season 1 next week, which is episode 9. So that should be an interesting one. But what are your guys' thoughts on it? Please like, comment, subscribe, leave your comments below, and see you guys on the next episode review of What If.